injured here. 3v3 faction war, Armageddon River Crossing, Orks versus Tyranids. Blue side, Boris plays a Kommando knob, infiltrating commander, good damage, can also blow stuff up Orky style. Caeltos alongside is a mech boy, teleporting commander, fights range, puts out some nice damage, can also support, build structures and repair. Rounding out blue team, Dark Riku is a Warboss, melee commander, walks through cover, good damage, disruption and support from the front lines. Red team, Sneakus Peekus kicks us off with a Ravener Alpha, tunneling commander, great mobility and some good offense. Gpipe alongside is a Lictor Alpha, infiltrating melee specialist, can also support a little bit. There he is, going after the Kommando knob. And Wildest rounds out red team as a Hive Tyrant, very durable commander, walks through cover, cannot be suppressed, starts with a basic synapse, fights melee to start off. Huge engagement early on, sluggers in amongst these termagants, but looks like they're going to be forced off. There's a stun bomb, nicely done by Boris. It's going to stun all of those termagants. Gpipe quite slow to react there, maybe looking after his Lictor Alpha right now. I think he is forced off by sluggers. A war banner going up from Caeltos' mech boy. Sluggers can also build these things. They are 75.5 in cost. Give you a slight damage, speed, and I think suppression resistance buff, but they do not frazzle anymore. I think they are limited to 3 per player. I'm not sure if they stack, if the effects of them stack. Caeltos would have to answer that. 500, 469 early on. It's a 2-to-1 for the Orks. I think the mech boy using his teleport to grab the central VP. One of the new maps of war maps then. I actually really like this map. The weather effect is quite extreme, but adds a bit of character to it, I think. It's one of the get center and hold it maps. So these war banners will be really useful for that. Hive Tyrant forced off here though. 1080 HP. The toughest commander in the game to start off, and he's gone for the extended carapace. Now that is interesting because Tyranids have ways to really support each other. You have the tunnels, of course, of the Ravener Alpha. The Hive Tyrant can get improved synapse, but we are seeing extended carapace, and also the Lictor Alpha, of course, can get pheromones, which would be fantastic and would help Tyranids push mid. Warrior Brood on the way for Gpipe, and a Pain Boy on the way for Caeltos. Finally, we'll get to see this guy in action properly. 500, 430 is a 2-to-1 cap still for the Orks. This war banner giving the buff to all of those infantry there. Looters on the field have been made more useful in Elite generally. Another war banner going up. Maybe we'll see a mech boy turret. Warboss is going over here to crush this Ravener Alpha's tunnel. And we have a hardened carapace Ravener Alpha sneaking around. And he's going to get up, and he has Crippling Talons on the way. Very risky to go for a melee Ravener Alpha on this very congested map. Maybe we'll see Strengthened Sinew, which buffs his speed passively. Really nice accessory now in the mod. Warboss does a special attack and forces off all of Sneakus Peekus' stuff. Boris going for the stick bombs. Fantastic accessory versus Tyranids and light infantry in general. Might see the shotgun in tier 2. There are the stick bombs. Those guys not noticing, and tons of losses. That about 7 models went down. Orks forced off. This is a good push though by the Tyranids. Lictor Alpha needs to get pheromones. Hive Tyrant, of course, can put up brood nests as well, but they are 100 red now since they also slowly regenerate health. Lictor Alpha a bit too slow to the fight to make a difference, and Orks hold mid. Rending Talons, very good choice versus all of these Orks. That was Seismic Roar and a retreat. Pain Boy's on the field. Melee support sub-commander in tier 1. Has infantry armor according to his unit card there, which doesn't make him the toughest thing around, but he has power melee and damage over time with that poisoned Pain Boy blade of his. Also has a heal, which applies regen afterwards. Got some big buffs in RC6. Now a lot cheaper, I think 350, 30. And his heal got a big buff as well. Caeltos putting up 3 war banners. I think they're all Caeltoses. Yes, they are. And we have proximity mines for the mech boy. I don't see these things very often. Chucking them over these choke point. Only 2 ways into the center. Surprised we haven't seen a turret from the mech boy. 500, 341. It's a 2-to-1 cap steal for the Orks. Now they are pushing the other side, the north side. Spore mines going in. Sneakus Peekus has 2 spots of these things for some reason. And he cannot even detonate those guys. The other spore mines moving in. And looks like they're going to catch these looters. But suppressing their own Ravener Alpha there. And he's unable to get in. Crippling Talon, such a nice weapon. Look at that debuff. 40% speed and damage debuff. Crazy. Hive Tyrant now making his presence known in the center. Really, really nice seismic roar on these sluggers. But he does go down. Shooter Boys getting away with 3 models. Storm Boys in retreat. These are Boris's. They have improved rocket packs queued up for tier 2. Where is the Pain Boy? I want to see this guy in combat. 500, 308. Here comes the Lictor Alpha. Still no pheromones on this guy. Huge mistake, I think. Would really help these pushes. Damage resistance and reinforcement. He's trying to revive, but these guys can see him. He does revive the Hive Tyrant, sorry, and Lictor Alpha levels to 2. Lictor Alpha got some really nice buffs in this version of the mod. Toxin Miasma buff. I think Toxic Sis was buff as well, and his global ability called Stalk was buffed. One of the least used globals in the game. All it did was reveal commanders on the map, but now it does that and buffs the damage and damage resistance of the Lictor Alpha. Lictor Alpha got some serious love. Zoanthrope on the way for Gpipe. Storm Boys now have their Knob leader for Boris, and he is fearsome in combat. Will want to jump alongside these warriors and Zoanthropes, I would think. Look at Sneakus Peekus going for these spawn mines still, hiding them behind these pipes. Warboss is in amongst this stuff now in retreat. No sign of any war gear for him. We have Knob leader Shooter Boys so they can spot this Raven Alpha if he tries to tunnel. 500, 285, still a 2-to-1 for the Orks, yet to lose a VP off their counter. Tyranids unable to push because they're not using their support. No improved synapse, no brood nests yet, and no pheromones. Sneakus Peekus finding it hard to make these tunnels work with the Warboss just running over them. He's now burrowed again, and these Shooter Boys getting very close to going down. Dark Riku just about getting them out of there. See these Hormagaunts in the far north waiting around guarding this power. Sneakus Peekus should be going for the center VP now and helping out. Lictor Alpha runs away. We have double Zoanthropes for Gpipe. These guys got a damage reduction in the latest version, I think by 5 from 70 to 65, I believe. Still a great unit though. Got their regeneration aura, synapse, radius increased of course with the mod. 500, 247. I think they got a change to their shield as well. I don't think their shield is quite as efficient as it was. Not that it was terribly efficient before, I don't think. Mechboy chucking some more proximity mines in. Being spotted though by these warriors. These guys have a barbed strangler, great suppression weapon. Instant suppression and good damage over a radius. Still unable to deal with these war banners though. Looks like this one's going to go down. We have some Raveners. These guys can now get their Devourers in tier 1 again. They also have a cool new model in the mod with spikes and stuff. 500, 222. Orks still yet to lose a VP. Orks have beaten Tyranids every single time they faced each other, mod or not. Look at this, Death Dread on the field for Dark Riku. Sneakus Peekus telling his team that he needs AV. He has a Zoanthrope which can snare the Death Dread and do a decent amount of damage, but it's not going to take it out on its own. Needs some Venom Brood. Brilliant Burrow Strike from the Raven Alpha, and then gets out of there. We have some ranged Raveners here from Wild Bold and a Tyrant Guard on the field for Wild Bold. These things are awesome now in the mod. Have some really nice splash damage and their special attack works. And they have the speed buff from retail as well, of course. 484, 221. I want to see this Tyrant Guard kick some ass. It's not under Synapse though at the moment. Well, it won't be once they enter this fight. Really needs the Synapse for the speed buff. Now going after this War Truck. War Truck showing rear armor, and look at the damage this thing puts out. You can also charge, of course, and put up a shield wall which gives it vehicle armor and regenerates its health. It starts off with super heavy infantry armor. So plasma weapons and power weapons are really bad news for the Tyrant Guard. Also acts as a vehicle in that it can be snared by las cannons and stuff. Here comes the Lictor Alpha. He has adrenal glands. Why? Stealth is not really going to be much use on this map in such close quarters in the center. Just going to be spotted by shooter boy knob leaders. Really should have got pheromones. Pheromones is such an awesome war gear for the Lictor Alpha. 465 216 in my opinion anyway. Orks sitting pretty in the middle. As you can see, the natural victory point is very natural for both the teams. So it's pretty much going to be a 2-to-1 or a 1-to-1 throughout, I would think. Here comes the Hive Tyrant. Now has bioplasma. Don't see this thing very often. Did get a slight buff in the mod in that it moves much faster now. Still doesn't do enough damage for me though. Does about the same damage as a Zone Thrope shot, a bit more I think. There is Seismic Roar, fantastically done. Should have got Psychic Scream I think. Slugger's got a speed buff now when they use Swampum. Does not break suppression though, as it does in retail. You need to break suppression in another way, which I think is a good thing. I'm not a big fan of abilities like Frenzy and Swampum, which just break suppression for melee squads. You should be forced to diversify your army to do that. Tyrant Guard in trouble, now goes into shield wall mode. Painboy doing a lot of damage with his damage over time power weapon. He now has his Cyborg implant equipment, allows him to permanently buff one squad in either speed, damage, or I think something else, I'm not sure. Tyrant Guard chasing off the Orks, survived because of shield wall mode. 465 161. Can the Tyranids take mid now? Warrior Brood are gonna do it. These guys in their default melee state now have their adrenal glands. You can tell by the delightful looking glands on their back. Gives them heavy melee and a powerful melee synapse. Will we see some Gene Stealers maybe? Flash Gits on the field for Caeltos. Very nasty range squad. Lots of DACA from long range if they're upgraded. And it looks like they do have the upgrade Git Finders. Start off with those really nasty blasters, I think they're called, and they can get these artillery type weapons. Maybe we'll see them later. Weird Boy on the field for Boris. I'm surprised we've only seen one of these guys. Sub-Commander for Orks. Good damage potential and some support. Good at dealing with blobs. But look how much stuff the Tyranids have. Despite all of the losses, they haven't lost many full squads. And now they're getting out monstrous creatures. This is a Carnifex for Gpipe. Monstrous creature with vehicle armor. Very dangerous. Especially if you can get these guys leveling up. And he's gone for the Barb Strangler. The Carnifex's Barb Strangler is nuts. Warboss of Dark Riku has heavy armor and the boss pole. Good choices. The boss pole to buff all of these boys. Zone Throat trying to get away. This one is caught by Storm Boys and will go down in retreat surely. Yes. 430, 153. Here comes Sneakus Peekus' triple Zone Throats. Need to be very careful. Forced off by Sluggers. Yes. Might even lose one of them. Or two of them even. There goes one. Raven Alpha now in a ranged build has the Corrosive Devourer and Damage Synapse. Melee not quite working out on this map for the Raven Alpha. These Flash Gits putting out some serious damage with those Twin Link blasters or whatever they're called of theirs. 406, 153. They're just twin link shooters, aren't they, I think? Carnifex now in melee with these sluggers. These sluggers being very, very brave. Swampum still gives them the 50% damage reduction, of course. 406, 153. Tyrant Guard with a special attack, knocking these knobs around. They have used your choppers though, and they have their hammers. And they're going in amongst this Tyrant Guard knobs. Got a nerf in that their frenzy now costs 75 watt. Still a very nice unit though, backed up by flash kits, I think. 406, 142. Now these knobs have odd boys on them. I think the duration of this decreased compared to retail, and they are finally forced off. Really nice management of those forces by Gpipe, getting in some crippling poison and barb strangler shots nicely. 2 more war banners go up. We also have beamy death gun looters to try and deal with these monstrous creatures that are no doubt going to appear. We might see a beamy death gun from the mech boy as well. 406, 123. Still no sign of a brood nest, no sign of pheromones from the Lictor Alpha. And we do have Psychic Scream though from the Hive Tyrant. What are these Hormagaunts doing? Are they bugged or something? No, they are moving now. 406, 113. Tyranid is trying to push again on the south side. Lictor Alpha off in retreat. Carnifex backing off. Barb Strangler 1 out, taking big shots from that beamy death gun. Getting a damage buff, of course, from these war banners. These war banners really, really nicely done from Caeltos in the usage. Warp Vomit. Tyranids really trying to push, but they just don't have the support to do so. Double flash kits now from Caeltos, and look at the Daka they are putting out. Man, those Hormagaunts melted there. Double zone thropes backed up by Termagants, but they cannot deal with the flash kits. Flash kits got a slight health buff, I think, and they just got healed there. That was from the mech boy, battery packed. Great support war give him. Got a slight nerf in the mod. Heals for 300 now and not 400. That 400 heal was ridiculously insane. Built to support knobs, no doubt. But now they have a Pain Boy to help out. Pain Boy's heal has some crazy health regen now. Tyrant Guard for Wild Bold. Is this the same one? I think it is. Not quite level 2 yet. Swarmlord on the way though. And Gpipe has another Carnifex on the way. Sneakus Peekus going for a tier 3 Lictor. Looks like he decapped this DP with it. He must be in a tunnel now, because I can't select him. 3 war banners back up from Caeltos. Now has the beamy death gun for his mech boy. Not bothering to waste energy on mines right now, I don't think, because they'll just be spotted. Oh no, he is. He's chucking them in there. Here comes the Lictor Alpha. He cannot spot those mines. He's going to try and revive, or at least try and see what's going on. Look at the amount of greenskins there are. All of them buffed by this Warboss with Boss Pole. Has the Power Claw now too. Good choice versus Tyranids, because you know you're going to face big, scary, monstrous creatures in tier 3, namely the Carnifex and the Swarmlord. Swarmlord almost hitting the field for Wild Bold, and now it has hit the field. Super unit for Tyranids. Deadly and melee combat, also emits a speed buff and reinforcement synapse. It really is a great super unit, I think. Has vehicle armor too, unlike the Avatar and Great Unclean One with the super heavy infantry. 389, 60. Big special shooter, high explosive shells from the Kommando knob. Also has Kaboom and Boom Time. Increases the power of the Kommando knob stun bomb and accessories. Actually, I think it makes Kaboom not knock back the Kommando knob. I think that's right. Look at this engagement. Tyranids coming center with a Carnifex and a Swarmlord. There is a foot of gore. Boom! On those Termagants. 389, 49. A desperate last push is this from the Tyranids. Tyrant Guard in amongst some commandos there. Looted tank on the field. Warboss levels up to 4. Over 2,000 hit points with that boss pole and heavy armor. And it's going after this Barb Strangler Carnifex, which needs to be very careful. And here come Knobs with user choppers, and this is a dead Carnifex, surely. Yes, there it goes. Storm Boys jump in the Zone Thropes. And these Zone Thropes in huge amounts of trouble. One goes down, this other one's going to go down as well. Gpipe not paying attention to these Zone Thropes. It is very difficult to pay attention to everything though. Pain Boy stuck behind enemy lines, retreats. Let's go back to the center. BME Death Gun getting shots in. Swarm Lord needs to go and tie up those flash kits. Down goes the Tyrant Guard finally. That thing did really well though. Swarm Lord backs off. Swarm Lord does have a really nice self heal in the form of Leech Essence, which does add to its durability quite a lot. Must have used it already. Maybe he used Storm of Blades instead. Center is blue, but look at this. Tyranids have stolen the Orcs natural again because of this Lictor tier 3, and he has Vanguard, so his infiltration will not drain his energy. Jumps into those shooter boys, but is not attacking now. Still kicking off. Knobs deep behind enemy lines, level 2, and retreat 346 49. Hive Tyrant level 3. Nicely kitted out, I think. Psychic Scream, Rending Talons, Extended Carapace perhaps should have gone for improved Synapse, but Extended Carapace will help versus those flash hits, getting amongst them quickly. Sneakus Peekus now has a Carnifex, and it's a Thornback. Gives them a health buff and a really nasty charge. Also allows them to drop some Rippers. Really nasty AoE on those Termagants. That was a Foot of Gork and a high explosive shell shot, I think. Will the Commando get away? Nope, caught by a Carnifex, and Tyranids will take center, surely. Maybe not. Love the DAC up from the Commandos into a Rocks. Boom. Can the Tyranids escape? Huge losses. Rocks did get a big tweak in the latest version, in that the big rocks do less damage and the small rocks do more damage. Bit of a better distribution of the damage potential, I think, because the big rocks were pretty insane. I think one shot in most vehicles and stuff. Tyranid is now trying to cap up the middle while they destroy these war banners. Can the Orcs push back? They do have double flash kits from Caeltos, commandos from 2 of the Orc players, and 1 Nob squad. Isn't it refreshing to see Orcs in tier 3, 3 Orcs in tier 3, and only 1 of them getting a Nob squad, only 1 of them feeling the need to get a Nob squad because of flash kits and Commando Nobs coming back into Commandos, sorry, coming back into play. Battle Wagon now on the field for Dark Riku, 324 49. Triple Carnifexes here marching. There are 4 Carnifexes on the field. Wild Bolt has 1, Gpipe has 2, and so does Sneakus Peekus have 1. Gpipe also has an insane amount of red. In fact, Gpipe and Wild Bolt can both use Tyrant formation, and there is one of them. And there's another. It's going to hit those Knobs with the central tower. Boom. They had Frenzy up though just in time. Knocked them flying but didn't do any damage. 311 49. Carnifex. Thornback this is, up against Knobs with Warboss support and user choppers. That is Carnifex in big trouble. Swarmlord using Storm of Blades though fantastic well. Look at the damage it did to those Knobs. 311 49. Battle Wagon caught there by a Thornback Carnifex and a Venom Cannon Carnifex, and these guys are nasty. 311 49. That was Bioplasma which hit a tower, capillary tower that is. These spires granting a synapse to nearby Tyranids, by the way, and there are a lot of them. Zone Thrope here from Sneakus Peekus hitting level 2 as it wipes out some greenskins, and look at this. Flash kits have their... oh, these things are called blasters. I apologize, these are the blasters, and they are awesome. Kind of a short range-ish artillery gun which have a 10% chance to backfire and knock the flash kit on their ass, which is very orky. Here comes some commandos. 311 49. I guess their default guns are just twin link shooters, particularly nasty ones. Custom shooters perhaps. Carnifex level 4, wow, from Gpipe, this thing with 2300 hit points of vehicle armor that regenerates health slowly. And Tyranids have mid, and they cap mid. They have a 2-to-1, 309, 49. Can the Orks push back? They have a lot of stuff. We have more knobs on the field now from Boris. No upgrades for these guys. Dark Riku's knobs are level 2. Need some serious reinforcing though, which is not cheap. Battle Wagon now on the field for Caeltos. 298, 49. Battle Wagon needs to be very careful of that Venom Cannon Carnifex. Here is the Death Roller. Battle Wagon floating through the air for a second there. If Orks think it will float, it will float. Warboss is down in the centre. Very, very nearly level 6. This is the Lictor Alpha. He's going to die as soon as he stops that. No, he's alive. Unbelievable. Did he get a heal? What happened there? I thought he was nearly down. Maybe I'm seeing things. There's a big rocks again. Tyranids mostly avoiding it this time. Warboss levels while he's down. Carnifex here. Thornback chasing that Battle Wagon. 270, 49. It's a 2-to-1 cap still for the Tyranids. I don't think they can hold mid though. Storm Boys from Boris have done so well. Level 3. Now level 4, which is the maximum level for a non-Kommando unit. And they retreat. Battle Wagon showing its rear armor to that Carnifex. Venom Cannon can shoot on the move with the Carnifex, and down goes the Battle Wagon. Here's another Tyraniid formation. Stops the cap, kills a bunch of sluggers. This the Revenant Alpha. He's gonna burrow somewhere. Level 5. Burrow strike to try and save his Carnifex. Does it pay off? We have double knobs chasing here. Boris's and Dark Riku's, and now Caeltos getting some knobs. 256, 49. Orks trying to cap mid. Look at these Carnifexes marching. The Swarmlord is still around as well. Really nice comeback from the Tyranids. Getting to tier 3, getting out these monstrous creatures. Orks just need a lot more long range AV, I think. The Flash Kit Blasters do decent AV damage, but they're not a reliable counter. Mainly designed for blobs of infantry. Hard boys on these knobs trying to finish off these Carnifexes. Yes, Boris actually dropped at this point. So the Tyranids are playing versus 2 humans and AI right now. 256, 49. Can they bring this back? Flash Kit's level 2 for Caeltos. Are they both level 2? No, these guys are level 3. Sneaky Orc here decapping the Tyranids natural. These are knobs, and they do decap. Nobody capping mid. Carnifexes of course cannot cap. 256, 45. Sluggers are gonna try. Rippers, a single Ripper going after them. I think these guys do a beastly 1 damage. And Sluggers might be able to finish this cap. This is the Lictor Alpha, now has Menacing Visage, a good counter to knobs, or any powerful infantry unit pretty much. Swarmlord now being chased, overextended by Wildbolt, and he's going to lose this thing, I think. Can he get away? I think he will get away. Unbelievable. Now going back into the fray even. 256, 11. It's a double cap for the Orks. Tyranids not capping in time here. Don't even have their natural at the moment. Trying to cap mid, but they've run out of time. Orks again putting down the Tyranids. Thanks to all the players who took part. Crazy game. Pretty nice map. Tell me what you think of it. And I'll see you next time.